Thing that motivates us. It's all about contributing to our well-being, to our wellness in life. And my opinion is that if we live a life with purpose, we're already halfway there.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Wednesdays with Wallis. Thank you for tuning in. Today's session is going to be really fantastic because we're continuing on with this whole area of doing things in our life, giving ourselves a sustainable income and a sustainable life into the future. And based around that lately, I've been talking about, or for the last 3 weeks, I've been talking about manifesting, haven't I? So, a fabulous topic for today, and it's called Manifesting Money is Easy. Is it true? That's the next question. Manifesting money is easy. My question to you is it true for you? Because I could sprout about how manifesting money is easy, and for me, manifesting money is easy, but is it easy for you? And if it isn't, then why not? Because I'm no different than you. If it's easy for me and it's not easy for you, then both of us are doing something different, or we're believing something different, or we have some different things going on. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, and hopefully I'll give you some practical steps, some practical things to do, some things that you could work on. So if your life right now isn't, from an economic perspective, we're talking about money, if right now you haven't got the sort of money in your life that you'd like, you're not earning the sort of income you'd really like to earn, or you just simply don't have enough and you live in lack, meaning that for most of the time there's more week left over at the end of the money, or if you get paid monthly, it's more, month left over at the end of the money. And I've been there, done that, and it isn't a good feeling, and it isn't a great way to live. I get it. It's not. Okay, before we go a little further, can you subscribe if you haven't already? Because we're really on a drive to boost our subscription base to Bold Not Old Wednesdays with Wallis. And we're going to be also telling you about upcoming things that are going to be happening into Bold Not Old and some of the things we're doing. Hopefully today I've organised this room a little better so that we have a bit better lighting. I've been working on that lately, not super successfully. So don't follow me if you're looking to have better lighting. I'm not the one. But if you're looking to manifest in your life, and specifically if you're looking to manifest more money in your life, then I've got some not only practical things for you to do, but I've also got some things for you to do that you may not consider very logical or practical. And we're going to talk about that. So let's dive right into manifesting money is easy. And if you look around you, it is for some people, isn't it? None of us can deny that. We look around and we see people who are just seemingly, money just flows to them. It's like they have some invisible, pipeline into, a vault somewhere, or they have an invisible pipeline to, to money. And, that's, I'm going to say that's not magic, but in a way it is. There is a little magic involved in this because harnessing that energy around money. Now, I won't get too far along in that. I want to go back a little bit because, pardon me, I want to start at the beginning. We talked about back in week 1 of all this, or week 2 or whatever it was, we talked about money needs containers. So you've got to have a reason to have the money. So you can call it goals, you can call it dreams, you can call it whatever you want. But you've got to have something you want the money for. You can't just turn around and go, when I get the money, when I win Tats Lotto, etc., etc., etc. That isn't going to work. And I'm going to hopefully have enough time to explain to you why that won't work. It just simply doesn't work. It's like getting into a stream and swimming against the current, or turning around and letting, the current carry you downstream. If you're in there like the salmon trying to swim upstream, it's pretty exhausting. And so life can be pretty exhausting when you're trying to manifest money in ways where you already have a lot of blocks. You're already swimming against the odds, you're already swimming against the current, and you're already swimming against the flow. And like everything, money is an energy and it has a flow. Okay? Now, I'm going to repeat that because it's very important. It took me years and years and years of study, pardon me, years and years of listening to people, doing courses, years to understand and to accept. Understanding is one thing. We can go, oh, yeah, I know that. And you hear a lot of people say that. You'll be talking to them and you'll say something and they go, oh, yeah, I know that. And they don't know it. They're saying they know it because they heard it, or they learned it, or they have some understanding around it. But until you actually experience something, you don't know it. It's like I always have a chuckle to myself when people talk about money, and I always find that those that talk about money in raffle tickets, like it's raffle tickets, meaning they talk the big numbers, they talk the big game, they talk the big other people who don't have anything. And that's okay, but the point is that can be a block. But we won't talk about those right now. We're going to go back to this idea that I originally talked about containers. Having to have a container. Money needs containers. What's your container? What's your ignited vision? What's the thing that keeps you up at night, keeps you awake, keeps you constantly thinking about it and you can't get it out of your head? What is that? Do you know what that is? Do you have any idea of what that is? Do you have a burning desire for something? Because you need it. Now, I used to think things like, and I guess I wasn't very clear, and I'm going to say to you, maybe you're not clear or you're confused. You don't really know. It may be that you have some doubt around it, or you have some complacency, or deep down digging at you is, oh, it'd be great, but I don't really believe I'd have it. You mightn't on the surface be telling yourself that. You might just simply, when you dig a little deeper, find that as much as you'd love, 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 love to have it, and it might be a car, it might be a home, it might be holidays, it might be a new wardrobe, it might be a swimming pool in your backyard, it might be whatever it is, if you have in yourself you really want it, you'd really, really love to have it. Oh, it would be just fabulous. But deep down, you don't believe that you will. Well, I'm here to tell you won't. So they're called money blocks. So you can work your tush off over here. I was going to say that other word. You can work crazy over here. You can work flat out like a lizard drinking. You could just be like full on, full at it, and not seem to be making headway. And often the reason for that, there may be a number of reasons, but certainly it'll be some block you have around money, that you don't mind working really hard for it because you were brought up where your parents or your father or whoever in the house worked their bums off and they worked really hard to make ends meet. And for a lot of people, you hear that. My father, I mean, we did a little bit better than make ends meet. I always thought as a kid that we were, or as I got older, not as a kid, because we didn't seem to be short of anything, and we didn't seem to be short of money or anything like that. But having said that, as I got older, my story was that, we were brought up and we were fairly poor. Well, that's simply not true. We weren't. And in fact, when I look back at it, we were quite well off. We were, we lived in a neighbourhood where most people had linoleum on their floors and we had wall-to-wall carpet. We got the first TV when it came out in 1956 for the Olympic Games here in Melbourne. And whatever we wanted, whatever my mother wanted, we had lovely china to eat off. We were comfortable. We didn't live in some great big palatial house, but that wasn't what my parents wanted. They bought what they wanted. We went to good schools. We had uniforms to put on. And when I look back, we weren't paupers. We weren't poor people. But my story as I got older was, and then I looked at that one day and thought, whoa, hang on. That's not a good story, or that's the wrong story. You weren't poor. You had a fabulous new motor cars. When motor cars came out, my father bought my mother a twin spinner Ford, and which she duly took out the first day and put a dent in it and didn't know how to tell him. Pardon me, but, we were very comfortable. So we weren't poor. But you might be struggling with your finances. You might be struggling with all that sort of thing, and you're working hard to change it. But working hard doesn't mean that you will change it. Not necessarily. So I want you to think about your vision. Is it an ignited vision? Does it have fire under it? Are you excited about it? Do you want to have this, like you can taste it? It's in your mind constantly. You can't get it out of your head and you're forever thinking about it. Every time you open up your computer, you Google something about it, or you're on it. You just totally, excuse me, got a nice windy day today and the sinuses are on it. So an ignited vision. So will you do that for me? Will you take a look at your vision? And if you're complacent about it, you're not sure about it, if you doubt, where's the doubt coming from? What is it? Is it I'm not good enough? I don't deserve it? I have to work harder to get it because I'm not working hard enough? I don't know. I went through all these things. There's a myriad of reasons, and some of them are just bloody ridiculous. Some of them are crazy, but we have them. And as long as we have them, we won't have the money, and we won't have the vision, and we won't have what it is we really, really want. An example of that is this. You decide you're going to buy yourself a new house. You'd like a new house. The one you live in's nice, good. You've got a few bob in it, but you'd really love to move and live in a certain area or a certain place. But that area might be 3 times as expensive as where you're living. Because where you're living, in your mind, you can afford. You're coasting along with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. But if you want to move from coasting to manifesting the house of your dreams or the area of your dreams, and it may be that you're willing to move into, we'll call it a starter home, but you're willing to move into something not exactly your dream or your big dream, but something that you could do a few things to, and maybe that's the step for the next thing. Or maybe that's, maybe you'll be happy with that and you go, well, I'll have that, and over time I can, make it what I really want. But the move from here to here is a big step for you. And the thing that stops you from believing that you can have it, the thing that stops you from moving from here to here is a block. It'll be something, as I've just said, it'll be something around, I'm not good enough, I need to work harder. You've sat down and you've done all your numbers and you're short X amount of dollars. You look at it and you go, well, that's X amount of dollars. I can round up whatever, your bit of paper, you've worked it all out, and I'm short, I'll have a shortfall of this. I've no idea where I'm going to get it. I've no idea. I wouldn't be able to. So the first thing in your mind is you go to your default, which is your block, and the little voice in your head says, well, where are you going to get that money? Who's going to give you that? You're flat out doing la, la, la. So that's pretty impossible. Don't do it. I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to help you understand that if you do that to yourself, if you tell yourself those sorts of porky pies, and they're the porky pies, not the one over here, this one is the porky pie, because this is the little thing in your head that's keeping you locked in to not believing that this is possible for yourself. So I don't want you to go there, okay? I want you to not do that. Earlier I mentioned that money's an energy, and it is. So if we're talking about energy, let's talk about vibration. So money has an energy. It has a vibration around it. Everything does, even rocks, everything. We do, the universe, everything has a vibration. Everything moves in a vibration. So we're either a vibrational match to something or a mismatch. Let me give you an example of that. Have you ever been somewhere overseas or taken a trip somewhere out of where you live, somewhere close by even? Have you ever gone somewhere and when you've arrived there, you just feel uncomfortable? You've never been to the place before. You don't know anything about it. You have no preconceived ideas, and nobody's given you a whole rundown on it to create negative feelings around it. You just don't, you don't know why. It just doesn't feel right. That's called vibration. And we're out of alignment with our own vibration and the vibration that that particular place, and it mightn't be the place, it might be It might be just that small location, might be the whole place, just might be a small part of it. It might be a specific part of it. We don't know why, but we're just not a vibrational match with it. We can go to somebody's house and not feel very comfortable, and we've never been there before. We just don't feel comfortable. We don't know why, and we're glad to get out of it and go home. Have you ever been in that position? I have. I'm very attuned to my own energies and the vibration of things. So I'm very attuned to this whole thing about being a vibrational match. Got some little notes I wrote down here to money. How do we get that? How does that happen? Well, it often happens and starts with our thinking. It's like having a map. It's like, it starts with our thoughts and our feelings, and then it translates. So it's like thoughts, feelings, end result. If your thoughts come in and start affecting all your feelings around money, or nobody in my family's made a lot of money. I don't know anybody personally who has a lot of money. The people I, run with or I'm around, money's not important. There's a lot of other things in life more important than money. But that won't mean a tosser to you. I used to be around people like that. At the end of the day, it didn't mean a tosser to me. Because the point is that I wanted money. I wanted a particular lifestyle. I wanted to do particular things. So it didn't matter what they all thought or were thinking, or their philosophies or their values or whatever else. I couldn't live in that. I had to live in my own. So is that what you're doing? Are you living the way you want to live? Are you living with your goals, your dreams, your values, the things in life that float your boat and make your heart sing? Or are you living or trying to fit in with your partner, your family, your friends, the group you might hang out with? Because if that's what you're doing, sorry, darlings, you're never going to have any money. Not the sort of things. You're not going to have the dreams you want. You'll have enough to get by, and I can promise you, if you're in the jar with all the fleas that are all the same, not wanting to call your friends fleas, but if you're in the jar, if you're a flea in the jar with all the other fleas, trust me, you're all jumping to the same height. You're not jumping any higher. Why? Because there's a shared mentality and a shared belief there. So be careful, be careful, be mindful, be diligent about who you're going out with, who you're hanging out with, the sorts of things that you're reading. If you're sitting in front of the news every night and it's all doom and gloom, trust me, you're not going to have any money. You're not going to have your dreams. You know why? Because you already deep down believe what they're talking about, what they're saying. You're already believing the doom and gloom. I hear people all the time. I've got friends. I'll be chatting with them and suddenly they'll come out with some stuff they heard on the news or whatever, and some doom and gloom about the economy, and I think to myself, what a crock off. Don't fill my head up with all that stuff, because I simply don't believe it. I believe we make our own world. I believe we create our own environment. I believe we create our own reality, and we do. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about becoming a vibrational match to the goal that you have. So first of all, we want to have an ignited vision about what it is we want, and then we need to look at what's holding us back. Is there something, if we haven't got it right now, well, I can tell you, I promise you, if you haven't got it right now, well, then it's not a vibrational match. So you're holding it out there. You're thinking about it, you'd love it, but you're holding it at bay, and you're holding it at bay for some reason. That's a bit different than if you decided today and you got very clear and you had clarity about what you want and you went, yep, got it. I've sorted now. I know exactly what I want. That's it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that you may have been thinking about it for ages and you really want it, but you haven't got it. You might have been thinking about it for a few years and you haven't got it, but you still want it. And it's just a dream. It's a pipe dream. It's not a dream that you can work on and bring to fruition and make a reality for yourself. I so much want to keep talking about this. So thoughts, feelings, and then you take action. So if your thoughts down here are driving negativity, uncertainty, unclear, you doubt things, if all your thoughts are in that barrel, if they're all there, then they're driving your feelings. So your feelings, which will drive what you attract, your feelings are all negative. They're all living up to this whole bunch of thoughts that you're feeding it. So what do you do then? Because the thoughts are driving the feelings, well, then the actions you take, the things you say yes and no to, the actions you take in relation to that are what manifests. You got that? I hope you get that, because that's really, really important. You need the right map. This is not about logic. This is about some universal principles. These are about, and how do I know this stuff? Because I live it. I've manifested a different life for myself than I had 10, 15 years ago. How did I do that? Based on the principles I'm telling you, and I had to learn to understand those, and I had to be willing to change. Not say I understand and then keep doing what I was doing, but I really understood the need to change some thinking around what was really holding me back from manifesting money. The sort of money where I could travel the way I wanted to travel, I could drive the motor car of my choice, I could live where I want to live, and I could have the goals and create the containers for the bigger goals and the bigger dreams. I know this because I've done it. So I want you to go away and think about how you personally are thinking about money. Do you have that burning goal, that burning desire, that, burning vision? Do you have that? Can't get it out of your mind. Keep thinking about how it's going to happen. And don't worry about that, because everything happens twice. Do you know that? Everything happens twice. It happens when you think about it, and then it happens in reality. Go away and think about that. This has probably been a little bit more serious today than what I normally am, but I really get into it, and I want to give you some inspired thinking and I want to ignite an inspired vision for your life, because I know you can have it. And to be truthful with you, I don't want you, I don't know how old you are. If you're my age, well, then that's fabulous. Get it now. But if you're younger, I don't want you to have to wait a whole lot more years to have it. Why? If somebody like me can come along and tell you how, then you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait the time to have it. You don't. You can have it as soon as you want it. You can. Enjoy your week. Have a fabulous time. Please click on the link below and subscribe to Wednesdays with Wallis. I was going to tell you about a whole lot of things that are happening around us, but next week I'm going to allow myself the time to fill you in on some of the things that are happening and do a little bit of shameless self-promotion around what's going on with myself and what's going on at Bold Not Old. Enjoy your week. Have a great time. Get out there. Kick ass. Get your dreams. Have your dreams. Have them today. See you soon. Thank you for watching Wednesdays with Wallis. I'm your host, Wallis Palace. Bye for now.